So you got a radiator, another radiator, a little bit smaller. You got a little itsy bitsy thin radiator. No. Alright guys, when you look at the front of the semi truck here, everybody knows what a radiator is. It uses coolant to cool the engine. But what are these other things in front of this the radiator that look like little radiators? Alright, so basically the one on the back is the regular radiator that uses coolant to cool the engine. But what goes in front of that is actually what's known as an intercooler, or an air-to-air, or an air-to-air intercooler, or some variation of that. Charge air cooler also is what they call it, because it cools the hot air from the turbo, goes through here, goes to this heat exchanger. The ambient air that passes through the fins cools down the charged air. It's a sealed system so that the pressure from the turbo stays constant all the way till on this cold side when it goes in the engine. And if you touch this pipe and you touch that charged pipe on the hot side, you can actually tell probably about a 50 or more degree difference, believe it or not. Because you don't want hot air going into your engine. It's inefficient. It'll cause detonation and you just won't get as much power, period. So we got this air-to-air intercooler. Now what's in front of that? This little piece looks like a tiny radiator. That's actually your air conditioning condenser, and that's always in front of your intercooler. And what it does is it just cools your air conditioning refrigerant, and that's all it is. But if you have another one in front of this, it might be a power steering cooler, or it might be a transmission cooler. Now on these manual transmissions, I believe you have a heat exchanger that runs coolant right next to the transmission fluid, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I was told. And that cools down your manual transmission. But you may have an air to oil or air to transmission fluid heat exchanger up front here in front of the air conditioning condenser to cool off the transmission as well. So that's what all three of these, or if you have four, maybe five even, do. And it's the same principle on a car, but you're always going to have your air conditioner condenser first, then your air-to-air intercooler, and then your radiator.